If anyone is wondering why I'm so dressed up, it's because I'm going to dinner later. I'm on holiday and I wanted to record a video just to keep my channel going. I know there's people out there who want me to comment on Shamima Begum. I already wrote a very long thread of tweets about her. For those of you who don't know and who are foreign and don't really care about what's going on in the UK, Shamima Begum was an ISIS bride and she wants to come back to the UK, and she made a few stupid, dumb kid, probably, comments about how she doesn't regret joining ISIS and she saw a head in a bin and it didn't faze her, which, make of that what you will. My opinion is still the same. I think the UK should take responsibility for her. I think the child that she has now given birth to, when she first sought asylum, she was very heavily pregnant. She has now given birth to a child. This child should be taken in as a ward of the state, and she should be incarcerated, put through psychiatrists, rehabilitation, de-radicalization, whatever you need to do. And then, you know, if it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. Either way, I think if she's let loose into society and she's given a new identity, she should be monitored for the rest of her life, like a sex offender or a paedophile would be, to make sure that she's not doing anything. And I've heard different things like we shouldn't let her back into the system because it's taxpayers' money that will keep her fed and rested and whatever. I don't understand people's like true struggle with paying taxes. Like, I don't get it. And maybe that's just me being a naive kid and I don't understand anything. But to me, the way I've always looked at tax, and mind you, I've only been paying tax for a little while. I'm only 24. But to me, tax has always been this thing, this only thing that I supply to my country. I don't work for the government. I don't work on the police force. I'm not serving in the army, even though I really, really wanted to. And it's still a very vivid thought in my head to serve in the army. Paying tax is the only thing I do to support my country. I should not have any qualms about where that money is going. It's no longer my money. It doesn't belong to me. It belongs to the state. It is government money that I am giving to support my country. And yes, it's mandatory, but that's how I see it. And I would never object to paying taxes. And I would never have any qualms about where those taxes go, because it's not my money. It's government money. And I don't know, maybe that's me being ignorant and young and not understanding anything, and seeing it from a perspective of a person who doesn't pay hundreds and hundreds of pounds in tax. But that's how I see it. And I don't think that's going to change anytime soon. So I have no problem with accepting that she would be put in prison and then fed via the government, via the taxes that I have paid to the government. I don't believe in executing her. I don't believe in torturing her. I don't believe in punishing her more than what she deserves. Okay, I didn't leave Islam. I didn't stop being an extremist Muslim so that I could propagate those things in terms of those people that I left. Also, it's really weird because I think I also mentioned this. She's clearly Bengali. Begum is a Bengali name. And for me, that hits home because in another life where I didn't leave Islam, that could have been me. Very easily could have been me. You know, there are other things that people are saying, like how she was 15 and we should take pity on her because she was more or less raped as soon as she went to ISIS and got married off to a 22-year-old. I don't know. All I know is that there's a lot of brainwashing that goes on, and I think that we should at least try to put her through de-radicalization. She should be put in an isolated cell where she can't radicalize anyone else while she's still as she is. She's kind of changed her tune now. When she originally sought asylum, she was saying some very inflammatory things, and she made it on the front of the papers. But she now seems to have understood that saying things like that probably aren't the best. But that's my take on it. I think the UK should take responsibilities towards people who have gone to ISIS from the UK. And the reason I think that is because now that ISIS is essentially crumbling, you're going to have people coming in flocks, in droves. They're going to come back to their countries. And what we don't want to do is leave them out in Syria, where the situation is already dire. These refugee camps are already taking care of their own people. We don't want our people, essentially, British people, who have done a heinous crime, to use up the resources of another country who's already in a crisis. We should take responsibility for those people who have left our country, who are British. We should take responsibility for them and not leave it to other people to take care of. And secondly, we don't want those people who are now seeking asylum back into the UK, or will soon because this empire that ISIS had created is now crumbling and falling apart. We don't want them to regroup and start something else. We need to take care of it. We need to take responsibility. People have already come back from ISIS to Britain and have, are either in prison or have settled again here because they regret what they've done or whatever. It doesn't help for us to just say she's not coming back, because then you're going to treat every other ISIS fighter like that, and then they're going to regroup and they're going to start some other problems. We need to take responsibility for them. To be honest, I feel like a lot of people are angry, and understandably so. It is, in my opinion, treason what she's done, like a true treason, like not like leaving a belief. That is not treason. Sorry, I've just heard it a lot. A little bit off track, but she has committed treason, and she should be punished for it. She shouldn't just be left out of the UK to do whatever she pleases and use the resources of a country that's already in crisis. That is my opinion, and not everybody will agree with that. Not everybody within the ex-Muslim community agree with that. And I understand. I understand all sides, but that is the opinion that I have. Oh, also, I think the family should be investigated for how this happened. Her family and people who were close to her before she left. Those people should be investigated, and that's it. That's all I believe. That's it. I'm not the one making the rules. You are probably not the one making the rules, unless some high-up MP PM is watching my channel, which I doubt. I get about 50 viewers on average. What you gonna do? Nothing. I have returned home and I am able to upload a video now, so I thought I would add some comments, because the day I recorded the video about Shamima Begum and narcissists was on Tuesday, and things have developed since then, so I thought I would add a few comments before I posted the video. Yes, I know my hair is different, I look very different, we've been travelling for about 6 hours since 10 AM. It's been a little crazy, to be honest. So I'm not going to be in the perfect frame of mind to get this out, but I just wanted to add a few things. So from when I recorded that video, it was a case of her, whether or not she would get in the country, and I think on the same day or the day after, one of the people at the Home Office, I believe he's the Foreign Minister or something, I don't know who he is, I don't remember, my mind is in a state right now, but he had sent a letter to her family saying that she has had her citizenship revoked on the hope that Bangladesh will take her. My opinion on that is that is a ridiculous idea. First of all, because she was not born in Bangladesh, and her mother's Bangladeshi, and they're hoping that that will be enough for her to be sent back to Bangladesh. Bangladesh have now, or since yesterday I believe, said that they're not going to take her back, and unsurprisingly, she has never been to the country, she doesn't really know the language coming from her mouth, she doesn't understand the language, and honestly, I don't think Bangladesh actually know who she is, and why would Bangladesh, who has enough problems of its own, who has enough problems with radical groups and politics and just keeping itself together. I'm a Bangladeshi, I was born in Bangladesh, I have a Bangladeshi birth certificate. Bangladesh has its own problems. Why would Britain assume that Bangladesh was going to take on a jihadi bride? That's ridiculous. I'm still of the opinion that the UK should take her back and should punish her accordingly. And I also find it ridiculous that the Foreign Minister, or whoever he is, I've forgotten his name also, Sajid, I've forgotten his surname, no personal attack on him, but I find it ridiculous that he has concerns for the child. I don't know how you're going to get the child over here without the mother. I don't know how you're going to do that. You need to bring them both back here, you need to put the child into the system, you need to investigate the family, and you need to put her either in prison or through some kind of psychiatric program where she is demilitarized and de-radicalized. One or the other. I don't believe in leaving these very volatile and possibly dangerous people out in an area where they are taking advantage of humanitarian resources like the ones she's making use of in the Syrian refugee camp right now. I don't believe in leaving them there to use all those resources, then go back out and form a whole other group to attack Western nations. I don't believe in that. You need to take responsibility for your own people. That is my belief. It always has been my belief. And I had an argument about this with a few people, and the real question is, do you want to kill this hydra, or do you just want more heads to keep popping up? Because if you keep leaving these dangerous, angry, volatile, confused, and essentially stupid people in a place where they can regroup and continue to attack us. I mean, I even said that I'm against taking human life. I think we're better than that. I think we've grown past the idea of capital punishment. I think we've gotten past that. But even killing her, at this point. Even executing her publicly for treason would be a better decision than passing off the responsibility to a country that has its own problems, that, doesn't even know who this person is. This person is a British national. You can't make her stateless, and you need to take responsibility for her. If you want to kill the Hydra, you need to kill the idea, essentially. If you let that idea fester in Syria or in Bangladesh or in Iraq or wherever you're going to send her, because who knows where she's going to go after this with her child, if it survives or if it doesn't, you're going to have volatile people getting together and creating something else. You need to stop doing that. We need to stop doing that, and we need to find a proper solution aside from just saying, oh, well, we don't want her back. It's not enough. It's not enough to say that you don't want her back. There has to be more to this than simply just being like, well, we're cleaning our hands of her. We've taken ISIS fighters into our countries before because they have come back, and maybe they have expressed regret or they haven't. They've also been put in prison here for those who haven't expressed regret or those who we can prove have committed crimes. We should do the same for this instance, in my opinion. That is all. Again, I'm not the one making the decisions. Obviously, I can't really affect how this goes, but I feel like it's important to express this opinion, and it is a very unpopular opinion. I feel like most people are happy that Britain has decided to make this person stateless. And you put them in a very strange position by doing that, because what you don't want is a group of people who are going to come flocking back to the UK and making them stateless and then being angry at the UK for another reason besides the warped ideas they have in their heads. I don't know. That is my opinion. Maybe I'm just a dumb kid, but that's what I think. I'm going to finish this and I'm going to post it because honestly, it needs to be posted now.